As you can tell by the name of my channel, I love old games, and one of my favorite game series of all time is Resident Evil. One game which felt really different and unique to me personally is Resident Evil 7. I have finished the game multiple times but never had gotten all the trophies and beaten that madhouse difficulty. Since I was in a mood to play something spooky and FPSy, I thought why not? And here we are, trying to get all the trophies for
Resident Evil 7.
First things first, I went to that trusty trophy guide page to check out that trophy list. Well folks, this game has a total of 38 trophies, of which we have 22 bronze, 12 silver, 3 gold and that shining platinum. Everything looked clear for the most part and we started the story right away. We play as Ethan Winters, a loving, caring husband whose wife Mia has gone missing for 3 years and is therefore presumed dead. We get a message from her and are off to save her somewhere in Louisiana. We get our very first trophy just by starting the game and arriving at the location. We go through the woods ignoring all the red flags and find Mia's handbag with her driver's license, getting our next trophy. We don't want our wife to get a ticket now, don't we? We enter into this creepy looking house and the door shuts from behind. Everything inside the house feels dead and rotten, giving that spooky, moody atmosphere. I think I can never understand horror movies and games where the main character just walks inside such places without a care in the world. I'd be like, nope. Since I have already played the game like a good number of times, I skipped the very first videotape flashback sequence which is needed to find the secret door and of course is also needed for a trophy which I would have to come back to later. We find Mia in the basement and set her free while she's having daddy issues.
What the hell's going on?
Daddy's coming. We need to go.
Daddy?
We need to go now!
I was kind of confused whether she was talking to me, to her real dad, or if there was someone else. Just when we look away, she goes missing and we have to find her again. We pick up a few first aids, kinda indicating something's about to happen. We start hearing knocking on the door and get attacked by a psychotic Mia who looked creepy as hell. She tries to stab us, well, she actually does, and comes back to her senses for a second only to go berserk again. We use an axe to put her down for good and get a call from this girl called Zoe who tells us to fuck off through the attic. On our way towards the attic, crazy Mia returns and screws us, literally, only to chop off her hand. We pick our hand and run towards the attic only to get attacked by her again. Luckily, this time we had a gun to defend ourselves. After a few bullets in the head, Mia is down and so are we, thanks to her daddy who welcomed us into the family. Zoe staples our hand back and gives us an Apple Watch as compensation. We meet the whole family of psychopaths who try to feed us warm food and blind us. Luckily, thanks to a cop, they get distracted and we make an escape only to get attacked by Jack, or should I say daddy.
You're wasting your time!
One thing I really love but also hate about this game is that the overall locomotion, camera and even shooting mechanics feel slow, like really slow when comparing it to a general FPS, but it actually makes sense since Ethan's a regular dude. I think it adds so much of that sense of fear and rush to the game. Escaping Jack, we end up in this locked washing room where we get a few items like chemicals, herbs and lockpick. Combining the chem and herb, we can create a healing water and we use the lockpick to open a closed drawer, getting our next trophy. We meet the police deputy who gives us a pocket knife and tells us to meet up in the garage, where he gets a shovel shoved into his head, cutting it like a piece of cake. We pick up his gun and have to fight off against Jack. I love that we can defend ourselves by blocking incoming attacks, which gets us another easy trophy. I found Jack's car keys and started ramming him with the car till the motherfucker jumped me and took back control of it.
Oh yeah! I'm gonna take you for a ride!
Somehow we survive the car crash and shoot Jack through his mouth, putting him down for good. Up next we shoot this bobblehead statue also known as Mr. Everywhere, getting a trophy. This is one of the 3 collectible items in the game and well, we need to shoot all of these for a collection related trophy. Using the door statue, we unlock the main hall of the house and get a call from Zoe again, who tells us that we need to find 3 keys in order to escape the house. The first key can be easily found by fixing the broken pendulum near the kitchen hall, and we find the second key inside this hollow book on the first floor hall. We also find the videotape of Mia running away from Jack's wife Margaret. We also solved this quick shadow puzzle which I really liked in this game. I remember trying to imitate a similar prototype in Unity for a game which I was developing. Don't ask how it went. Finishing this tape gets us our next trophy. I also forgot to mention about the other collectibles in this game, which are these antique coins, which can help unlock certain items. I was trying to collect all of them during this playthrough, which clearly didn't go well. Up next, we find this wooden statue in the bathtub, and Jack makes a return trying to beat the fuck out of us. He acts similar to Mr. X or Nemesis from Resident Evil 2 and 3, and we can either hide from him to save ammo or take him on, which is a waste. On the normal difficulty, avoiding him is kind of easy, and we use the statue from earlier to solve another shadow puzzle. Up next, we are introduced to the main enemy types of this game, which are these creatures called the Molded, which I absolutely hate. They are tanky as hell and only go down easily with a shotgun, which I didn't have at this point. The other option is a fuckload of headshots, which I clearly sucked at. Luckily, we can dodge their attacks with some perfect ducking, so I practiced a bit getting used to their attack patterns to avoid them completely. I was also trying to preserve as much ammo as possible, so I was practicing to get them with a knife. Killing a Molded with a knife unlocked, things got personal. Up next, we found this treasure map, and I knew exactly where the treasure was hidden. I was trying to avoid the enemies, so I tried closing the doors behind me, unlocking behind closed doors. We find some steroids, which would definitely make us puffer, and Ethan was like, why not? We need to deal with a good amount of Molded fuckers, which took a while as I died a good amount of times here. Finding a scorpion key, we unlock one of the closed rooms from earlier which had a broken shotgun, using which we can unlock the shotgun weapon from the main hall. With the shotgun and confidence in our inventory, we march towards the dissection room, where we see Jack taking the final key, talking to the dead deputy from earlier. Jack sets a trap for us and we fall right into it and have to go against him again. Luckily, right before this fight, I crafted some advanced handgun bullets using the gunpowder and strong chemical, which made Jack go to the second phase in just 4 shots. He rips off this fence, taking away his scissors saw-like weapon. Luckily, we can also grab a chainsaw here to use it against him. This sequence is pretty cool as we can end up having a saw clash and can saw his insides. Also, ducking through his slashes gets us another trophy. After destroying him for good, we grab the final key and use it to escape the main hall, which gets us "You Ain't Getting Away." We go see this small trailer van outside and head towards it while grabbing a weapon repair kit on the way. Inside the van, we can find a broken handgun, which I fixed using this kit, which was definitely not worth it, and can also use the coins collected so far to unlock Magnum, more steroids or stabilizers. Since I love doing drugs, I just grabbed a quick shot of that juice, increasing our reload speed. We get a call from Zoe who tells us that her whole family and Mia are infected by some kind of virus and that we need to cure Mia if we plan on rescuing her out of this place. Of course, we need to find said cure, which should be hidden somewhere inside the old house, which is guarded by Margaret. We head towards the old house and it seems to be infested with bugs. There we find a bag which increases our carry capacity and gets us another easy trophy. I also found a broken flamethrower in the bin and tried it on a shadow puzzle nearby out of curiosity and strictly not because I thought it would work. This got me, nice try. I found the other part of the flamethrower, fixing the weapon and using it to clear out the infestation. Finding the missing piece of the shadow puzzle, we see Mia who gets abducted by Lucas, Jack's son, and we are somewhat attacked by Margaret and her bugs. I knew that there was a trophy for fighting back Margaret, so I wasted a few bullets on her accidentally unlocking Less is More, which is for killing 2 or more enemies with a single shot. I thought it was back off Mrs. B, but I guess I'll be going for it on another run now. Solving the spider shadow puzzle, we find a crank which allows us to let down small wooden bridges, and we find the crow key which is needed to unlock one of the main doors in the old house. Going towards the door, we are attacked by Margaret who pushes us into a pit and we need to shoot her down while she releases bugs on us. We can climb up as she falls down and unlock the door using the crow key. Turns out we need 2 T-series organs to create a cure, one of which is locked behind the door, which requires a lantern to gain entry. And of course, guess who has the key? We go after Margaret and have to take her down. However, right before this fight, I made a quick visit to the main house and got the rocket launcher, which can be unlocked using the crow key, and got /////////// you get it, for clearing insects off a door using a knife. Back to the boss fight. Margaret isn't too tough if you know her attack patterns, and I just used a combination of explosive shots, shotgun bullets and enhanced handgun shots to quickly chase her and put her down for good, getting that lantern. Using the lantern, we unlock the door and are told to
stay away.
We find the D-series arm and get ambushed by the molded creatures, which I just avoided completely, and we get another trophy for completing this section of the game. Zoe's not in her trailer and we get a call from her brother Lucas, who wants us to pay a visit to the deputy in the main house. We can see that the house looks different in tone now and more creatures roam around. We grab out the serpent key from the inside of the poor deputy's body and need to solve 2 quick puzzles around the house to get 2 more keys which are needed to go to the next area. We also find another tape, which I think is such a great side mission. We play as Clancy, a missing cameraman who tried entering the house earlier but never returned, and thanks to this tape we know why. Using the 2 keys, we make it to Lucas's party, and this area is full of traps. We need to find a code in order to enter another area and have to go through a wave of enemies, including the crawling molded enemies, which I abso-fucking-lutely hate. I also found another repair kit here and I used it to fix the other shotgun, which is way better. We also have to fight off this giant molded enemy, which was not that difficult thanks to the shotgun. We get the code and enter the birthday party area, which is the same one from the tape we watched earlier. Luckily, we know the code and solve the puzzle without dying, failing Lucas's plan completely, getting the D-series head, and we move towards the shack where Zoe and Mia are being held. We free them both and give Zoe both the parts and she creates a cure. Just as we take away the cure, Jack makes a return and is all mutated, looking like shit. He's mostly immune to bullets, however has weak points in the form of several eyes on his body. Using the shotgun and the launcher, this fight was mostly easy. We finally stop him for good by curing his virus using the serum and now only have 1 cure left, but have 2 patients. Well, it was kind of confusing which one should I choose, as Mia tried to kill me before and Zoe basically saved my ass. Using the cure on Zoe, we escape the swamp on a boat, leaving Mia behind. We see the ship in which Mia and Evelyn landed on this swamp, and Evelyn attacks both of us, and we now have to play as Mia, who finds herself on the ship, and we get another story trophy here. Navigating through this area, we see flashbacks of what happened on the ship and see Evelyn again, who kind of wants us to be her mommy. What is up with this game? Everybody has serious mommy or daddy issues. Anyway, we are somewhat forced to watch this videotape where we are shown that Mia was working as a full-time caretaker of Evelyn, a genetically modified human who's responsible for all of this. We need to navigate through the entire ship, fighting molten monstrosities, finding Evelyn. This section's combat is a wee bit faster compared to the rest of the game, thanks to the machine gun and the remote detonation bombs. Completing this section, Mia regains her memories and we now have to free Ethan. This was mostly easy and we picked the bag and the machine gun on our way. After restoring a broken elevator, we free Ethan and Mia turns to the psychotic version and starts attacking us. We have to kill her and we are off to deal with Evelyn now. Clearing this section unlocks another story trophy. Since I had access to all of Mia's inventory, I equipped the remote bomb and attached the bomb onto the molded, blowing it away, earning "That's a spicy meatball." We also got "Open your eyes."
Open your mind! Holy shit! Aquato?
For using a psychostimulant. We go through the wave of enemies and develop another cure and plan to use it against Evelyn. We make it back to the outhouse from the start of the game and see visions of Mia attacking us and have to take down Evelyn. She uses these shock waves to push us back and we have to block and keep on pushing forward till we inject the cure onto her. She transforms into her real form and we just have to keep shooting her till she destroys the house. We get the Albert gun from Chris and we can finally finish her off for good. This completes our very first playthrough and we got a total of 3 trophies here for completing the game on easy and normal difficulties and for getting the second ending by saving Zoe. Also, by completing the game, we have now unlocked a few new toys like the X-ray glasses to view all the items, Albert gun, saw blade, which will make our lives way too easy for the runs ahead. Alright, so for my next playthrough, I plan to play the easy mode to go for the 3 gold trophies, which were Walk It Off for completing the game using only 3 first aid meds or less, Yes, Resource Manager for only opening the item box 3 times. Just get me out of here for finishing the game under 4 hours. Although there was just a bit of slight complication. I had missed all the collectible related trophies which I should have gotten during my first playthrough. And I also had a few more miscellaneous trophies which I could have easily gotten during that first run, which I'll now be covering during this run. I always say that I go to the trusty trophy guide page, which I do in all seriousness. However, I always get bored reading and skip the important bits like this. I should seriously start paying more attention to the guide. Anyway, we started the game again and watched the very first tape, which I had missed during the first run. This tape alone is responsible for me missing 2 trophies during the previous playthrough, as there's a trophy for watching all the tapes, and this tape lets us get the very first coin in the game, which becomes missable after entering the main house. Entering the first main house, I opened the item box only to realize that there are 3 compulsory interactions with the box in the game, and I messed up by opening it once. Thankfully, I read online that we can skip the final compulsory interaction at the end, and we can get an option to arrange the items by dying in the boss fight, which doesn't count. I was relieved, but had to make sure that I don't open up this shit again. During the old house section, we fight off against Margaret till she pushes us off, getting back off Mrs. B. Up next came Out Before Desert for completing the happy birthday tape under 5 minutes. Thankfully, the Mr. Anywhere doll progress carries over the different playthroughs, thus getting the trophy for shooting all of them was easy. After finishing Jack, this time I chose Mia instead of Zoe, and playing the final tape as Mia got me Be Kind, Please Rewind. Next came The Devil Is in the Details for reading all the files. By this time, the next trophy should have technically been the coin collection trophy, but I fucked up. I missed exactly 1 coin by the end of the game, and upon reloading the save files and double checking, I figured it was the one from the start of the game. So I guess I'll have to replay the game another extra time. Fuck my life. Dying in the final boss, I rearranged my inventory and killed Evelyn with ease, earning a total of 4 trophies, the last one being End of the Night for getting the original ending. Okay, so before missing out any other trophies or collectibles, I decided to check the number of trophies remaining, and luckily there were only 6 left, which were Fly Swatter, Pelicans in Your Pocket, First Place at Science Fair, Mad Pelicans, Who's Your Daddy Now, and that Shining Platinum. I started another playthrough of that easy mode and made sure I got that first missable coin. While fighting Margaret, our goal was to shoot her off while she jumped at us, and getting this was a wee bit tough as I would mess up the timings or just end up killing her. After a bajillion tries, we finally got it, getting Fly Swatter. Up next came Pelicans in Your Pocket for finally collecting all the coins. As soon as I unlocked it, I stopped this playthrough and loaded the save before the Jack fight and created every possible item using different chemical combinations, unlocking First Place at Science Fair. Okay, so only 2 more trophies remained, which were technically the most toughest ones. We need to complete the Madhouse difficulty, which literally is no joke. Enemies and bosses can basically 1 or 2 shot us, and we get shit for items. Also, all the item placements have now been changed, and we have more coins compared to the normal difficulty. We can now unlock one of the keys earlier using the coins, and can also unlock different coins for increasing defense and attack power. Also, another major twist comes in the form of limited saves using cassettes, which can be a bit scarce, especially in that early game. The very first Mia fight is the toughest fight in my opinion, as we need to majorly get those headshots, which were a bit difficult with the controller. Plus, my controller's right analog stick has started drifting, so fuck my life again. Luckily, after the prologue section, we can start using the special items, which definitely made the game a little bit easier, but still not too much. The molded assholes are just horrible, and I died quite a lot here. Also, there's a lot more of these crawler enemies. My go-to trick for most encounters was to get them summoned and run and hide behind a safe spot area, which despawns them, and if we get out quickly, they sometimes don't respawn. This saved me a lot of healing items. All the boss fights were sort of alright, as I saved those heavy hitting shots especially for them. However, the end game stretch before the final boss fight was a bit tough. I died in this section a lot and also had to save ammo for the final boss. I think the worst part was having to go against 3 big guys, and avoiding them can be a bit tricky, as the escaping ladder now had traps. Collecting all the coins on Madhouse gets us Mad Pelicans, and completing the game again gets us Who's Your Daddy Now, which finally unlocked that Shining Platinum. Honestly, I tried the Madhouse when I first played the game and had a horrible time leaving it unfinished. Overall, I think it's a great game, and the Madhouse mode is a must try. If you made it this far and enjoyed the video, then please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as it helps massively. With this, I'm out, and
Come back anytime.